As you know, here at O'Connor tonight, we're not taking sides in the Republican nomination process. We want the best person to win, and we want you to be the one to make that choice. But we definitely just want to beat Joe Biden. That said, we're trying to cover all the candidates as fairly as possible. And there's been a little dust up of late between the Trump campaign and a super PAC that is supporting Ron DeSantis. Take a look at this AP headline. Donald Trump's campaign seeking to blunt the efforts of a super PAC supporting Ron DeSantis by sending a letter to state Republican parties. What they're saying here is that this super PAC is violating the law, going well beyond what a super PAC is allowed to do, and a whole lot of campaign operations that super PACs aren't supposed to do. In fact, David Warrington, attorney for Trump's campaign, says that this super PAC, which can raise unlimited amounts of money, as you know, is basically acting as a de facto campaign apparatus for Ron DeSantis. Well, let's bring in Ken Cuccinelli. He's the founder of said super PAC. And Mr. Cuccinelli, what are you doing there violating campaign laws like this?
You know, I'm kind of in the habit as a former attorney general of not violating the law.
Yeah.
And look, they're scared of our operation. And we have built a movement inspired by Ron DeSantis that is bigger than anything that any other campaign has done. We've already knocked over 1 million doors. We passed that mark weeks ago in South Carolina. And they are not knocking doors. They don't have a ground operation anywhere. They do rallies and when they show up, and that's kind of it, you know. And we are building out, and maybe they haven't seen a super PAC be this effective before, but they're trying to raise questions and to make it harder for us to do our work. And that's all it is. That's not all it is. What it really is was a news hook. And you showed the AP fell for it, and here you and I are talking about it. But look, there's a reason that the Trump campaign has spent virtually every attacking dollar it has spent on Ron DeSantis. There's a reason the mainstream media spends so much time, when they're not talking about Donald Trump, beating on Ron DeSantis, because they know he is the threat to actually accomplish a conservative agenda, as he proved and continues to prove in Florida at a depth that is literally historically unmatched for any chief executive.
As you said, Mr. Cuccinelli, you're the former Attorney General of Virginia. You know your way around the law. If you could help explain to people who are watching, you just said door knocking. I see that you've done voter registration, things like that. Most people would think that is, in fact, the responsibility of a campaign, not of a super PAC. What are the provisions here? What is a super PAC allowed to do and not allowed to do?
Well, we can do any of these things. I mean, really, people might just be used to seeing a campaign do it. But as I said, none of the other presidential campaigns are doing this, including their super PACs that are trying to support them. And so I talk about each campaign as like a team. There are things we can't do. Like, we can't coordinate with them about where we're door knocking and what we're doing and all those kinds of things. We can't coordinate, and we don't. Right. We respect those boundaries of the law very thoroughly. Everything we have done up to this point has been done in some piece or another by others, and it has been through the FEC without any finding of violations. We are not making this up as we go along. We are capturing the benefit of the movement that Ron DeSantis has inspired, whether it's parents, as you know, we rolled out in Virginia, Parents Never Back Down, because that began in Loudoun County, Virginia. That's where it got its national notice. But long before Loudoun was on the map, Governor Ron DeSantis was protecting children, fighting Disney, and doing all the things that we appreciate and want our Republican governors to do, but that only he's done. And those things project well to a national vision, and that's what he's talking about as the next president of the United States who can beat Joe Biden.
I've only got 30 seconds left, but people are going to charge you. You used to work for the Trump administration, the Department of Homeland Security, and obviously you were a loyal member of his administration. You know what they're going to do? They're going to charge you with being disloyal to Donald Trump. How do you respond to that?
Oh, my gosh. You know what I'm loyal to, Larry? I'm loyal to America. And this is supposed to be about America and the future for our fellow Americans. It isn't supposed to be about Donald Trump. And for Donald Trump, it's all about Donald Trump. And I know there are people watching who don't like to hear that, but I got it up close and personal, and I saw it, and lived with it and worked with it. Ron DeSantis,
Understood.
his vision is about us. It's about America and America's future for the next 8 years, not just 4. And that is a big, huge difference. It's why Ron DeSantis is going to be the next president of the United States.
We got to leave it there, sadly, but we'll have you back, and we welcome anyone from the Trump campaign as well. Thanks for watching.